Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Was an Alien Hybrid. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a Badass Leader on this channel and enjoy that guys. Over on Anime King 2, I post a brand new episode of What If Mikoto Fell in Love with Naruto, so go ahead and enjoy that guys. And over on Anime King 3, there's a brand new series, What If Naruto Was Sent to a Parallel Multiverse, so go ahead and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all for helping and support, and yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode, start the intro. So, the last time we left off, Hiruzen had to start the argument between Anko and Kakashi, as both of them wanted Naruto. As Kakashi had made his claim and Anko had made her claim, Hiruzen wasn't too ecstatic about starting another Sannin. After all, the original Sannins failed miserably. Jiraiya was the only one, considering that the people called him the dead last, while Snatty was from a clan Ear to be exact, and Orochimaru was a prodigy. Jiraiya was the only one loyal to Konoha, as he decided to make up his mind right there and then. As the time finally came, as they went to the academy, the girls were still, well, Ino to be exact, and Sakura couldn't understand why Ciel and Eve was hanging out with Naruto. Most of the boys were jealous as hell. Kiba was worse than most, as he was angry, pissed off that Ciel was with Naruto. Even Sasuke seemed to like Ciel a bit. She was strong. Yes, and he liked the strong girl. The teams were selected, as Sai was placed on Team 7 with Sakura and Sasuke, as Naruto, Ciel and Eve were placed on Anko's team. As Naruto was so happy to hear that, they met up with Anko as she told him to get some rest, tomorrow will be their test. Kakashi had stopped Anko that morning as he was waiting for her to emerge, as he was really angry about the decision that the Hokage picked to make her Naruto sensei, as he said that she was not worthy, as he was the only one that could bring out Naruto potential. But Anko shrugged off his claims as she met up with her team. They had to survive in the forest of death for a couple of hours. They went in there, as a massive bear, the bear that Naruto had fought off from before, tried to attack his girls. As Naruto skewered the bear as his hand changed into a strange, tentacle claw-shaped thing he did not understand, as he kept on looking at his hand. The group had exited as Naruto hadn't told Anko about his hand. Anko had spoke to the Hokage about her team, and just like that, her team was formed. Months passed as they trained. They trained to get stronger as Anko was doing her best to make them the strongest team, genuine team within Konoha. As they were called to the Hokage's office as Team 7 was at the Land of Wave, and they were requesting backup, as Naruto had summoned his massive wolf, and they ride upon his back going towards the Land of Wave. Arriving there, they met up with Kakashi and the others. Later that night, the outburst of Inyari caused Naruto to make his way out in the forest. As there he met Haku. Something happened. His body started to react violently to her. And then, not violently, the fox woke up in his subconscious. But the fox was not the one doing this, as Naruto grabbed Haku as she could not move his pheromones, getting to her. He kissed her and he injected his tongue in her system, as she found her loyalty to Zabuza slipping away. As she started to see Naruto in a different light completely, to see him as her master, she fell unconscious in his arms. As Naruto didn't move off, he had to eliminate the targets His mind was moving on autopilot, it seems. Sil woke up that night with Eve, as the both of them could not get much sleep, as Naruto was not here, so they went to find him. Naruto had taken care of Zabuza and Demon Brothers. As they found him at the mansion of Gato, Sil had extended her tongue to long degrees and pierced through the back of a samurai that tried to harm Naruto. As she looked towards him confused, and he looked towards him confused as well. But they had a job to do. The next morning, Uncle and the others were woken up by cheers, as they didn't understand what was going on. As they arrived to see Naruto, Sil, and Eve being thrown up and down by the villagers, it turns out that they had brought a lot of money to the village. As Uncle was confused, as she went to ask what the hell was going on, as Haku was with them. So yeah guys, so it's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the Play Store for yourself, so let's begin this new episode. I want the explanation now. How did you three do this? As Kakashi and Team 7 want to know the same thing as well. As Uncle stood in front of her team, as Naruto explained that he took out Gato's thugs, along with Sil and Eve, and the guards, and Gato himself. She was shocked. She wanted to know what happened with Zabuza. Naruto unsealed a scroll that possessed Zabuza's blade. Team 7 could not understand what the hell was going on. How could Naruto defeat someone like Zabuza? As Kakashi was very concerned about this. How did Naruto defeat Zabuza and won completely unscathed? There was not even a single scratch over him. As Uncle couldn't believe what she was hearing. Her student defeats Zabuza and Momokai, and now possesses blade. She didn't know whether to be proud, but damn, she was shocked as hell. Her eyes shifted towards, "And who are you?" she said. "This is Haku Momokai. She will be coming with us," said Naruto. Sasuke clenched his fist. The dope defeated Zabuza and took his sword, as that pissed him off. The celebration at the Land of Wave was gigantic, as the people were cheering through the entire day, as Tazuna proposed to name the bridge the Great Naruto Bridge, as a big plaque was there with Naruto, Sil, and Eve name on it. Team 7 was feeling kind of left out. Uncle was in the spotlight because he was their sensei, but them, they just came here and got injured and nothing more. But Kakashi wanted to know, there was no way that Naruto could kill Zabuza by himself. "I don't know how you brats did it, but I'm proud of you," Uncle said, as she stuffed her face with dango and sake. As Haku was calmly sitting with Naruto, laughing and smiling to his jokes, and just being there calmly, like she's always been a part of the group. Time skip, it didn't take long. The mission was over and they returned back to Konoha. As Naruto explained to Harrison that Haku would be living with him and his girls. The girl was from Kiri, and she was very special. And the girl was adamant on staying with Naruto. She didn't want to stay with anyone else, as Harrison had to permit it. After everyone received their pay, Kakashi was the only one remaining. "Hokage-sama," he said, "aren't you the least bit concerned about Naruto? It makes no sense that a genin like him can kill Zabuza. It doesn't seem possible. Zabuza, who's a member of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of Mist, and the fact he can summon now. Before we can leave Wave, I did a bit of investigating at Gato's mansion. It wasn't a battle. It was a one-sided massacre. The scene was gruesome. Him and those two twins, they massacred every single one there." As Harrison was silent as he took in all of the information, thinking about Naruto mass murdering Gato's thugs. His thoughts then went towards the twin girls. Clearly, it did concern him. The last thing he needed was another massacre in this village. But Harrison had faith that Naruto would come clean to him and tell him what he's hiding. He didn't want to betray Naruto's trust, but the village must come first. He will have a talk with the boy very soon. If he doesn't come to him, "Kakashi, yes, I'm concerned. But I will not pressure Naruto about this condition. It could ruin the trust I have with him." "What about the girls? I have a feeling in my gut that they have something to do with this," said Kakashi. As Harrison went quiet once again, he knew that those girls were found in Orochimaru's lab. If he were to take them away and have them being tested, Naruto might resent and hate him. The last thing he wanted was for Naruto to turn against his village. God knows he's been through a lot. And everyone had their breaking point. As Harrison could see that those girls were closer to Naruto than everyone else. And they just met him recently. It was like they had this special bond, and Harrison didn't want to ruin that. "I'm sure this has nothing to do with Naruto change. Go back with your team, Kakashi." "But Hokage-sama, he was cut off." "That is final, Kakashi. Go back with your team," Harrison said. As Kakashi nodded, hearing the tone in the man's voice. As he left, as Harrison leaned back in his chair, as he was worried, he wondered, should this be a good time to summon Jiraiya and tell him about the situation regarding Naruto? With the Chunin exams coming up, it will be a good idea to have Jiraiya around and form some bonds with the boy, considering that he is the boy's godfather. Time skip. With Naruto, Haku went to shop for some clothes. She will meet them back at the apartment as Anko came to pick them up. They were going to celebrate as they ran into Team 8. "Oh hey Uncle," said Kurenai. "Oh hey Kuri-chan, what brings you here?" said Uncle. Naruto-kun, Sil-chan, Eve-chan, as Hinata greeted all of them. "Yo, Hinata," said Naruto. As the two girls greeted Hinata, they also greeted Shino. They did not even look Kiba's way, as he clenched his fists. Not only was he not greeted, it was still unfair that Hinata still liked that dope Naruto. God damn it. Just what does he have that he doesn't? He had tried getting Hinata to see him in these past few months, but she doesn't even look his damn way. Why does she always want to see Naruto? It angers him greatly. As Naruto focused on Hinata, she was talking to Sil. He remembered one of his dreams. Those lavender eyes. It was the same as his dream. His eyes glassed over, as Naruto saw himself as the adult creature, and she was there and he was holding on to her. The voice then popped in his head. Infect her. Turn her. Make her your mate. Breathe her. Those were the same voice that told him to go after Haku. Now it was telling him to go after Hinata. But too many people were here. He could not do it right here. His eyes glanced towards Kiba, who was glaring at him. But he chose not to pay him any mind. "So, what are you and your team up to, Uncle?" said Kurenai. "Oh, nothing much. Me and my team just got back from a big rank mission, and me and my brats are celebrating." "That's impressive. Perhaps we shall join you." As Uncle shrugged as they sat down, Kiba kept on sending glares Naruto way. But Naruto spoke to everyone except for him. He just ignored him, which just seemed to piss Kiba off even more. The time got late. Sil and Eve noticed Naruto look when he glanced towards Hinata. She was gonna be next, it seems. Time skip. Hyuga compound. As Naruto was on top of the Hyuga compound mansion rooftops, there was only one reason why he was here, and that was to infect Hinata. She was gonna be one of his perfect mates. Sil, Eve, and Haku was at the apartment. They were all waiting for him to come back. There was many guards here in the Hyuga compound, but thanks to Uncle, it was rather easy to get past them. They were too arrogant, as they didn't have their beacon activated. As Naruto made his way, he sniffed the air as he smelled lavender, her scent. As he made his way towards her window, crawling on the wall, he opened it quietly as he snuck inside. As she was just lying there sleeping, as he stepped towards her, as he moved, he propped her over before he dived in. Their lips met. He let her stir as she slowly opened her eyes. The first thing she saw was his deep blue eyes. Then his whisker marks. Naruto-kun? She thought to herself. This was a dream. Yes, she must be dreaming. After all, she had these dreams a lot lately. Yeah, it was a dream, must be. Yet it felt so real, like she could reach out and... As she placed a hand on his cheek. Why does this feel so real? No, this was just a dream, she thought to herself. And she was gonna enjoy it. She leaned into it, she's always wanted this. As Naruto injected the virus inside of her. As Hinata's body spasmed a bit, but not in pain, as she felt something coursing through her. Her body started to change, her bloodline itself started to change. As Naruto separated from her, she was panting rather hard. He bit her right in the neck, marking her. As her DNA was being changed, her body was being changed as she dropped to her bed. Her entire mindset was changed. As Naruto turned towards the doorknob, the door opened up as KO. He let a personal guard step in to check on her, as he heard some noises. As he looked around the room, she was sleeping peacefully. He checked the windows, they were locked. As he must have misheard as he made his way, as Naruto was long gone. Time skip. A month later, things had changed for Hinata, personality-wise. But right now, all of the teams from Konoha were currently participating in the Chunin exams. There were several teams in the Forest of Death. They already passed through the testing area. The teams consist of a team from Kumo, Sand team. There was a team from the stone. Kiri was unable to make it because of the bloodline purge. And a team from the grass was here as well. The rest of them being Konoha teams. All of the rookies were there. As Haku was currently at Naruto's apartment, as she wasn't a ninja of the village. At the moment, Naruto and his team were looking for the scrolls, so they could get out of the forest of death. They heard a screech. As the three of them looked at each other, as they made their way over there, the scream came from Sakura, as a man with black hair, yellow eyes, fangs that he just ripped out of Sasuke's neck, who collapsed down to the ground. "What have you done?" said Sakura. The man, Orochimaru the Sannin, chuckled. "Oh, it's quite simple, you see. I've just given Sasuke a gift. Once he wakes up, he should be very thankful," Orochimaru said. Orochimaru felt something as he turned his head, as he saw Naruto standing there. "Ah," he said, looking over Naruto. "The Kyuubi Jinjulke." It was then that his eyes fell on Ciel and Eve. Both girls' gaze were so intense. "Orochimaru," they said. Orochimaru narrowed his eyes. "It can't be," he said, as he looked them over. A smirk came on his face. "Is that any way to look at your creator?" he said. His smirk seemed rather amusing. Naruto stepped in front of them. "I won't let you touch them." "Oh? You want to fight me?" Orochimaru said. "Let's kill him," said Eve, as she shot out her long spiky tongue, as Ciel did the same thing. Sakura quickly picked Sasuke up as she started dragging him away. As she looked at their tongues, it was just like Orochimaru. As Naruto appeared in front of Orochimaru, who twists, as Naruto's claw hand shredded a tree. Orochimaru looked towards Naruto with interest. He twisted and kicked Naruto away, as Ciel's long tongue ripped through his skull, but Orochimaru burst into mud. As Naruto felt something wrapped around his stomach, it was a tongue from Orochimaru, who came from the ground. He was yanked forward as Orochimaru's 5 fingertips started to glow. 5-pronged seal as he slammed a seal in the ray over Naruto's seal. Naruto roared in pain. Something was wrong. "Naruto!" Both girls screamed as Naruto's claw and extended and ripped through Orochimaru's throat, as the man's tongue releasing. But Naruto watched with shock as the man's head reattacked using damn snakes. As the two girls ran to his side. "Are you okay?" they asked. "Yeah, but that bastard hit me with something," said Naruto as he looked at his stomach. Orochimaru went through hand sign, wind style. "Great wind breakthrough," he said. A massive gust of wind blast the three of them away into the forest of death as they crashed in the trees. As Naruto heard a voice in his head, "It's time." Black goo started to erupt from his body as he started to twist and turn around him. The same thing was happening for Ciel and Eve, as the black goo consumed their body, and it stitched up to the tree like a cocoon, and it trapped them inside. At Naruto's apartment, Haku was busy brushing her hair as she noticed something was coming out of her skin. The substance wrapped around her quickly and attached her to the wall like a cocoon. As for Hinata, as her team was asleep, they were well hidden. They were under a massive empty trunk that served as a proper hideout for them. As Hinata stood there, she felt something off. She had to get away, so she ran. As she ran into the forest, her body started to get covered in a strange black goo, and covered her body completely in a twisted cocoon, and her body was stitched up into a tree. Hours passed. 3 root ninjas were moving through the forest of death, as Orochimaru was spotted in the forest. As one of them stopped at the cocoon, the other two stopped as well. "What are these?" the female root member asked. "I'm not sure. I have not seen anything like this before. We should inform Danzo-sama about it." They couldn't get to finish that sentence. The 3 of them were grabbed. 3 hands burst from each cocoons and grabbed their neck and snapped it as the moonlight that was high up in the sky brought down a beautiful shade of light on the cocoons as they started to glow, pulsating with energy. The cocoon started to break as a hand erupted, Another hand showing too as they start to completely rip apart. Syl and Eve dropped out of the cocoons, right near to the dead unfull females. They were no longer children. Both girls have grown, look like they were in their 20s or early 30s. Everything about them had grown, their chest size, their figure. At Naruto's apartment, the cocoon that Haku was in exploded outwards as she stepped out. She has also grown as well. Her figure has also gotten a much more adult, athletic figure, as everything about her had changed. Hinata burst out of her cocoon. Her hair had gotten longer. Her love in her eyes shined more brighter. Her chest size bigger. She was now a beautiful woman, no longer a girl. Naruto's cocoon finally break open as he dropped. His hair had extended. If one were to look at Minato back in the past, and look at Naruto now, you would see the resemblance right away. But Naruto wasn't the one thing that came out of his cocoon. There was something else. A woman. She had crimson hair that fell down to her white hips. Full, luscious lips, creamy white skin. Her ears were pointed like fox, and it was a dead giveaway considering that she had 9 fox tails behind her. It was the Kyuubi, somehow freed, with this new growth spurt that happened to all of them. Every single one of them were naked, as Naruto held onto Kyuubi in his arms. As he turned his eyes towards Syl and Eve, now in their mature forms, once he separated from the Kyuubi, both Syl and Eve's eyes couldn't help but wonder as they looked down. They instantly blushed. As Naruto looked towards the root agents, considering that the process had melted their clothes, they removed the root agents' clothes as they put them on. As for the Kyuubi, she seemed to use her chakra to manifestate an orange kimono. They had to head out of this forest. There was a lot. So many happened in such short time. And they were now different. As Naruto and his mates were hungry after the process, as they were sitting around a fire, there was a lot of wild animals that was being roasted. They heard movements in the bushes. As a completely naked Hinata stepped out. Hinata said Naruto as he was shocked by her appearance. "Come," said Eve, "sit with us," as she handed her one of the sticks with the meat on it. She must be hungry. Hinata sat down as she gave her a thanks. She noticed the Kyuubi. "Who is she?" "My name is Ari, the Ninetales." Hinata paused. "The Ninetales?" As everything made so much more sense now. Why the villagers always look at Naruto like that. Why Keiyo and the others always said that he was not so much you want to make friends with. But she didn't understand. Why would the fourth Hokage put you inside of Naruto, condemning him to such a hard life? Out of everyone else, why him? He did it. To protect this pathetic village. And they spat upon his wishes. He wished for you to be seen as a hero, not for his son to be seen as a monster. As Naruto paused at that, Did you just say son? You have to be joking, right? It seems the old man won't stop lying to you. I might as well tell you the truth about who you are, your family heritage. The fourth Hokage is your father, she said. As Naruto stood there shocked. As for your mother, she was my last container. And before her it was her master, Mito Uzumaki. Your mother's name was Kushina Uzumaki. As the woman told him all about the Uzumaki clan. As Naruto stood there shocked, all of them were shocked. As Ari used her chakra to manifestate clothes for Hinata. Hinata was still shocked by her new appearance, as her clothing fit her perfectly, as she was different in many areas, especially her chest, and her body was now so much more filled out. As Naruto sat there, his mind swirling with so much information, the third kept this from him. Hinata saw the anger in his eyes. Should we rest, she asked. as she wanted him to calm down before he did something that he could not take back. Yes, he said, we have eaten. Later on, we get out of this forest and meet the other teams. As for Sakura, she was currently protecting Sasuke. She knew that they were freaks, abominations, monsters. She saw those long tongues of the girls, and not to mention Naruto's hand had turned into the strange claw thing. He was a monster. Her mother was right. He was a monster and she was supposed to stay away from him. Back with Naruto, as he lay there, his mind was swirling with so much not to mention his new form. He knew a sense of what he was, and the urges. He could not stop it. He had to reproduce. As a pheromone released from his body that only the girls could sense, their eyes snapped open from their sleep. At the apartment, Haku knew that she had to come, as she made her way to the forest of death. When Haku arrived, they were all already meeting with him. She had to join, as her body was literally shaking, twitching. She could not control herself. Cell and Eve were enjoying themselves. They knew from day one that he was a perfect specimen. He was a perfect one to get them pregnant, for them to have his babies and meet their big family. They had to keep on reproducing, making more Uzumaki babies, more Namikaze babies. A new generation and species will be born in the elemental nation right here and now. They will bring new life to this world, more of their kind to this world. They had to convert more female so that they could spread their population even more. Hinata found herself not caring for once. She didn't care if her father was against this or if her clan was against this. Screw them all. She will be part of a new clan. She doesn't need them anymore. But if they try to force these cage bird seals on her children, she would slaughter them all. If Neji gets in her way as well, she will kill him. As for Eri, she had seen it from day one. She knew what was going on with Naruto, as she could see it and feel it from the inside. And she knew what was going to happen very soon, and she wanted to be a part of it. When he was changing, she saw a way for her to emerge on the surface. While they were in the cocoon for hours, they had spoke. She had introduced herself to him, and she had joined his cause. And soon enough she will give birth to a baby that will be the most strongest out of all, with his genes, and her being a tail beast. It would create an anomaly that this world has never seen before. Also, there was another Jinchuriki that was also female, and that was Monotabe. She would convince her to make her host join Naruto. As Naruto kept on going, he heard the words in his mind to go after every single woman in the elemental nation and create his unstoppable bloodline to procreate and have many children. So many potential women out there that must be infected and become his mates to bring forward a new species that this world has never seen before. After this, he'll be going after his sensei, and there was many more. There was Kurenai, Yujeu, Hana, Kiba's sister. There was so many more of them. As his clan could not be stopped. They will not be stopped. And any possible threat to harm his mate and his children will be executed swiftly. It happened so quickly. A few minutes later, Naruto heard the sounds of baby crying. The girls, they gave birth. As Naruto was looking towards his newborn children, Cell was holding two blondes, a boy and a girl. Eve was holding twin blonde girls. Hinata had a girl. Her hair was the same as hers. As for Ari, she was holding on to a pink hair baby Kitsune and a blonde hair baby Kitsune. Both of them are girls and they were sisters. Haku was holding a boy and a girl. The boy had black hair like his mother, and the girl had purple hair. As Naruto felt the pride of father grow within him. This wasn't supposed to be this fast, but given what they are, the circumstances were different. As he looked towards his creations, things were going perfectly. Now it was time to name them, starting with Cell. The boy would be named Senji Namikaze, and his sister is Leslie. Namikaze Uzumaki. Eve, pair of daughters will be named Sarah and Miranda. Hinata's daughter will be named Himawari Uzumaki. Ari, name her daughters Tomomono and Ran. And finally, Haku named her son Zabuza Uzumaki after her adopted father, and her daughter was called Maizuri. Now having given their names, Naruto still Hinata and Eve had to leave to advance. Naruto told Ari and Haku to escort their kids out of the forest to feed them. Still, Eve and Hinata didn't want to leave their babies, but the moment the preliminaries are over, they will bond with them, as Naruto will have to get a bigger house. Once he talked with the Hokage, he will reclaim the Namikaze Manor, where his family will live. With that, the group made their way. Time skip. Anko was starting to get worried. Her entire team was missing. And for Team 8, Hinata was nowhere to be seen. Anko was worried. Her team was attacked by Orochimaru in the forest, and the damn snakehead Mark Sasuke. As she couldn't find her team anywhere, she didn't know where they were. Kurenai berated Shino and Kiba. How could they lose Hinata? As she was worried for her safety. What if Orochimaru got to her as well? Kakashi was informed by Sakura about Cill and Eve, freakish traits, and what Naruto did with his arm as well. He knew that something was going on. While they were all talking, people started to emerge from the forest. As everyone quieted down, the first thing that they focused on was the man. No, it can't be. Kakashi was confused. Sensei? As Hiruzen saw Minato, but it was impossible, he was dead. As he was flanked by two beautiful women. They were wearing Anvo gear, but it was outdated. But Hiruzen knew that Anvo uniform, it was Root Anvo. A group that he disbanded a long time ago. That he had forced Danzo to disband. And there was a beautiful girl with them as well. As Kurenai was confused, this girl looked strangely like Hinata. Who are you? Hiruzen said. As he looked at the man that looked like Minato so much. I guess I look a bit different, said Naruto. It's me. As Hiruzen couldn't believe it. His mind wanted to believe it, but no. It can't be. It's me, Naruto, said Naruto. That's not possible. Naruto is merely a boy. He's telling the truth, Hokage-sama. They turned their head towards the lavender-eyed girl. Wait, who are you? I'm hurt that you don't recognize me either, Sensei. Was this some sick, twisted joke or something? Kurenai raised her hand. Release! But nothing happened. As Anko stepped forward. Cill? Eve? Both girls nodded. No, it can't be. It's not possible. Everyone refused to believe it. But yet, something was telling them that this was real. All of them, every single one of them tried to break the illusion. As Kiba looked towards Cill, and Eve, and Hinata, his eyes looking them up and down. As Naruto's eyes snapped towards him, Akamaru whimpered away. As Kiba looked towards Akamaru, who was afraid, deathly afraid. As no one could believe what they were seeing. Was these the bunch of kids that they had sent out to take the exams? Kakashi was just staring at Naruto, as it was crazy how much he looked like Minato Sensei. As Sasuke was confused why was a dope adult, and Cill and Eve, they were now so much more beautiful, and their figures, everything about them. He needed to get these two away from the dope. After all, he needed females, proper strong ones, to help him recreate the Uchiha clan. He needed them with his clan. Orochimaru was there as well, as he was disguised, as he couldn't believe it. This can't be the brat that he had fought earlier. Kabuto looked on in surprise as he glanced towards his master, who seemed to be at a loss as well. Millions of questions running through everyone's heads, wondering how the hell they were adults and what the hell happened out there. Hiruzen cleared his throat. Naruto, my office please. Uncle, come as well, he said. As Hiruzen wasn't sure how he was going to explain this, to Hayashi about his daughter's sudden growth spurt. Back at Naruto's apartment, Ari and Haku was feeding the kids. They got in the village pretty easily, without anyone noticing them or the babies, as they breastfeed the babies. Time skip. As Harrison had to postpone the exam for some time as he had to sort out this whole mess at the office. But Naruto wasn't going to give him a chance to speak. I want answers. When were you going to tell me that the fourth Hokage was my father? Anko's eyes seemed to nearly pop from their skull. The shock that Naruto was an adult now was more than enough, but now to hear that... What? How? Harrison didn't know, how did he... As Harrison saw that Naruto was not joking around, he was angry. He could see it on his face. As Naruto's face showed nothing but anger and annoyance. Lying to him would just make things worse. He glanced towards Anko. Naruto, I was gonna tell you when you were at least Chunin, or wait until you were 16, for you to learn about your heritage. Why? Why keep it from me though? Do you have any idea how long I wanted to know who my parents were? I thought they abandoned me just like the villagers say. That they left me to suffer. Please Naruto, understand why I kept this from you. If you had known about this at a young age, and you would went around spilling their secrets, you would be targeted. Your father had a lot of enemy. Mostly in the stone and in Kumo. And if they found out about this, there would be non-stop assassins coming after you to try and end your life. As Naruto stared the old man. What about my clan, he said. The Uzumaki clan. You thought it was okay to keep that away from me as well. Harrison was shocked. Just what was going on? As Anko was speechless. How? Harrison said. Let's just say a certain fox told me everything after my growth. What happened? How have you grown so much? Same with Hinata and the twins. You want to know, said Naruto. Well, fine. Ever since I freed Cell and Eve-chan from these tubes, I was having these weird dreams. At first I didn't understand them, but as the time passed by I realized that I was in a dream, and I was one of these things. And they were telling me and leading me on what to do. Can you elaborate some more, said Harrison after Naruto paused. As you can see, said Naruto, Cell and Eve aren't normal. Neither am I. We are something above the stars. Like from another world. These creatures that we're becoming, I can't describe it. These dreams tell me that I'm one of those creatures. And it wants me to procreate, impregnate other females of my choice. And it was time for us to mature and start mating a month ago, before the exams. I had infected Hinata, and she became one of my mates. And I marked her as mine forever, said Naruto. Harrison sighed. Naruto, Hayashi is Hinata's father, and I don't think he will be pleased to find out that you have marked his daughter as your own. I don't care, said Naruto. She's mine. She belongs to me as my mate and lover, and I dare that son of a bitch to try and take her from me. Naruto, calm down, Harrison said, as Naruto was getting rather aggressive. Whatever happened to him was changing him in a negative way. Several envoys flashed in the room as Naruto's eyes went towards them. Harrison waved his hand for them to move, and they did. If anyone tries, I'll murder them, he said, as he felt his inner alien was releasing more power into him. No one take what belonged to him. He will crush their throat. He will step on their heads. On the other hand, the girls were not getting angry. They were getting overflow with pleasure at seeing their alpha behave like this. Is strong stand-ins were getting them all queasy and hot. But Naruto, what about how Hinata feel? You can't just, I'm fine with the Hokage-sama. Hinata cut him off. I do not care what my father thinks. I will stay with Naruto no matter what. When will I have my father's house, said Naruto. The Namikaze estate. I want to move in now, after the exams. I will let you have it, but know this. Judging from your looks, it won't be long before people start to put it together. That is why, at the finals of the exams, I will reveal your status as a son of Minato Namikaze But for now, Uncle, this is a S-rank secret, do you understand? Understood, Hokage-sama. Is there anything else you wish to share with me? Hiruzen said, as he stared at Naruto. As Naruto wondered should they tell him about the Kyuubi no longer being inside of him, and that he already impregnated his mates, and he had kids now. No. Maybe next month. No, that's it, old man, he said. As Hiruzen looked at Naruto, he couldn't tell if Naruto was lying or not telling him the full truth. Very well, he said. Let us proceed to the preliminaries. The teams were still there waiting, as they had a lot of time to talk. They had absolutely no idea what the absolute hell was going on, as everyone was focusing on the topic of Naruto and his Groot's birth. And the others as well. It made absolutely no sense, it was ridiculous. When Hiruzen returned, he did not talk about it. He got on with the preliminaries. There was only one person that left, and that was Kabuto. As Naruto looked towards Kabuto as he left, he smelled a snake. He was a threat to him and his clan. He will eradicate him. Once the exam was over, he will search and wipe him off the face of the earth. As the matches started up, Sakura watched as her name was called. As she saw that it was Sil, Sakura couldn't be more overjoyed. It was finally time that she showed Sasuke that she was better than that blonde bitch. It doesn't matter if she has grown up. Hell yeah, let's put down that little freak, Inner Sakura said. Sil went down there, as she looked annoyed. Are the both of you ready? Hayate asked. They nodded. Begin. Sil looked towards Sakura for a few moments. I won't kill you. Huh. As if you could, said Sakura. She read herself pulling two kunais. I'll break you, Sil said. Sakura soon realized that her words came back to haunt her. As the match began, Sakura could not even touch her. Sil was toying with her. Yes, she was. And Sil was gonna keep her promise. As she forced her fist in Sakura's gut, her body was so much more stronger as Sakura dropped to her knees. Blood and everything she ate this morning came back up, as she lifted Sakura's face before slamming it into the ground. As Eve smiled, it's about time that bitch knows her place. Those who were in the stands were shocked to how fast and strong Sil was, as she stomped in Sakura's face, kicking her away. As Kakashi looking at Sil, whatever this maturity gave her, it was definitely strength, speed and reflex. As Sakura was getting demolished, Sakura picked herself up as she coughed up more blood. You freak, she said. I won't lose to you. As Sakura released a volley of shurikens, Sil blocked them. One of them get past and stabbed her in the shoulder. Sakura smirked at that. Sil looked towards it like it was nothing but annoying, as she ripped it out. It was then that they saw it. Her skin stitching back together, and healing right in front of their eyes. A smirk came on Sil's face that would have made Uncle proud. It was so sadistic. Since you want to play more rough, it's my turn. As Sil threw smoke bombs over the area, Sakura felt something brush past her as she turned. It happened again as she spun. You think you can scare me, she said. As something kept moving by her. Fight me like a real woman and stop hiding. As Sakura heard a low hiss, as her body trembled in fear as she heard that so close, as a green hand slammed into her face, fracturing Sakura's jaw as several of her teeth went flying along with a lot of blood, bursting her mouth wide open. Sakura was in immense pain but still crashed in her stomach. But that was not what got Sakura scared, it was Sil's appearance. She was no longer human. She was a weird kindness and reptilian. It had a humanoid figure, but it was nowhere near human as it was green in appearance, with spikes along its body, claws that were made to rip through flesh, wicked eyes that were small, filled with nothing but death and destruction. Her hair was a mass of tentacles that flew behind her. She possessed two sets of teeth. The internal teeth were razor sharp. Sil snapped both of her wrists as Sakura cried out in pain. Sakura's mind could not handle the stress of what was going on, as The girl's mind started to forcefully shut down at the scene. Sil looked down towards her in annoyance. The girl was unconscious, out cold. Sil's body started to return back to normal. As the smoke slowly faded away, Sakura was on the ground in pain. As no one knew what happened, Sil had thrown down Soma's smoke bomb. But for one thing, Sakura was done for. Foam coming from her mouth. The medics quickly rushed her to get some help. As the people up there clapped when they heard that Sil was the winner. The next match was Kiba's smile. As the smile on his face was just beyond happy. He's been waiting for this moment. Begging, praying, pleading for this moment. As it was Naruto versus Kiba. As Naruto looked down towards them, Orochimaru was whimpering. "What's wrong, boy?" said Kiba. As he didn't know why Orochimaru was whimpering so much. "Come on, don't let he frighten you. We're gonna take him down." But Kiba should know and trust his partner. There must be a reason why Orochimaru was whimpering, but Kiba did not care. All he wanted to do was prove that he was a stronger one. But in doing so, he had got himself into some deep crap that he wouldn't be able to escape from. As the Predator has now locked his gaze on him, and Naruto's gaze would not shift. But guys, if you end subscribe right here. If you want to see next portion, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications to stay posted. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace out.